Hey, what's up, y'all? It is early as hell, which I'm always up early, but I gotta go and do some stuff with business and everything. But I wanted to get my usual rantings and ravings out the way so that I don't have to I haven't did the video and I've been wanting to and stuff. There's a few things that popped up. So I'm gonna try to keep it short, but you know how that go. As usual, go on kachicomics.com, get all the books and everything. Sign up for the Sable Con that we will be having in May in North Carolina, May 20th and the 21st. I plan to get down to North Carolina so I can get pictures and stuff of the space with my man Dewan and Vince and get all that done and take care of in March. So then there'll be some more stuff I'll be having for folks to check out and everything. So I probably should move up so I ain't too far away from the daggone mic and y'all can't hear nothing I'm talking about. But so what I'm let me talk about two things, but I wanted to start off with something that has been popping up on the internet. It is not new. So they got this whole thing with the people that are with the black dudes call themselves passport bros and all that goofy mess and folks talking about get your passport and all this other mess. And and you see these videos, especially among some of these what they call it, some of these red pill guys and stuff. And I've listened to all of it. It's a bunch of goofy shit to me. It's just it's like, really, this is what y'all doing. So the gist of it is get your passport and go over to all these other downtrodden cities and countries, or the one, and that's what they're doing, or go to the parts where they're not the tourist parts, to where they don't make as much, and go find ladies there, right? And what they say is stuff like, well, American women, they got feminism and they got this, and they don't respect you, they don't nice to you, they not feminine, they not this, and I'm like, the thing about it is none of it. This is new. It's just popping up now. But I remember hearing about this like back in the day with older black dudes, and I was in my teens. And then I remember really seeing about it back in 2011, 2012, maybe. And there was a lot of dudes that they were talking about the same thing. Get your passport and go, and this, and go to these places and see this and deal with these women and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, at first I was, and at first looking at it, I was like, oh man, that makes sense. You could go over there to these places, but then I started thinking, and I was like, wait, I'm a black dude talking about going overseas to these other countries and doing all this wild mess, and I'm just gonna get away with this? Like it after that, it never made sense to me. It's like, plus none of them are talking about um and even one of my favorite comedians like Patrice O'Neill, he was like, none of them were talking about, hey, I'm gonna make no kind of real lasting relationships with these people. I'm gonna bring them over, I'm gonna do, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, this don't sound right. This sound like y'all just going 3,000 plus miles to have sex. Like, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But this whole let me turn this into something that these American women ain't doing, it didn't make sense to me. So uh I would always hear it. I would always hear it popping back up here and there, like the Brazil thing, going to Thailand and stuff. And it's like, you guys are going there because you're flying all the way to another country just so you can buy cheaper hoes. And no disrespect, no disrespect. Yeah, just if that's what if you're buying the hoes, this ain't the disrespectful hoe. If you a hoe, I ain't mad at you. Do what you got to do. I've never been. I may make jokes about certain things, but at the end of the day, I'm not. I ain't mad at it. But don't, and they down talk American women, and it's like, especially black women. It's like, well, they ain't gonna give you, they ain't gonna give you, they don't even want to hand you your phone. They don't want this and that. I'm like, listen to me. If you can't get a woman to hand you your phone without talking shit to you or giving you an attitude, I'm gonna tell you, there's something wrong with you, not the woman. Like I'm being straight up. I'm being straight up. And a lot of it, that's what I see. Like a lot of the guys, all their excuses is like they got the feminism, they got this and that. Like these things aren't worldwide. Like we don't like they're not on the feminism over in these other countries. Like they don't have the internet. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? And so they've been showing the guy, one of the guys, Dave Austin or something, and he's just been doing some of the most goofy mess. They ran him up out of Brazil because of that whole "Would you kiss me?" go on a date stuff that I seen. I seen it on my Facebook page actually before I seen it anywhere else, and I seen people like get your passport. And all the dudes like, yeah, these women we go over there and they treat us better and this and that. Why? Because you're exploiting the bad situations that they live in, and if that's what y'all doing, that's fine. Again, if that's what y'all doing, both of y'all onto it, that's fine. But don't try to play me and make me and other folks and be like, yeah, you just come over here and they all these amazing things. You ain't marrying them. You ain't bringing them back over here. You're not doing any of that. And at the end of the day, you just going over there you just paying a $3,000 ticket to have sex with women overseas for cheaper because you ain't gonna never see them. And it's not like you getting the top of the line over there. Like, and again, no, this is not against the women. This has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with the women. This is more me talking about the guys with the mindset. And so now he went over there, got into some mess after that post, and basically a woman is talking about, yo, he coming over here exploiting our women and all this other stuff. And I have to, the mindset that she's coming with, I don't agree, but I do agree that he is coming over here doing too much. And so they out there and ran him up out of Brazil, and now he's over in Thailand somewhere. And the thing about it is, now all of us are seeing more of the videos. And it's like, we see you talk all this stuff. You out here talking all this stuff about American women and black women, and they don't this, and they don't cook for you, they not fit, feminine, and blah 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 blah, and da 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 da. And then when he shows more of himself and they show more of themselves interacting with these women, you see exactly why no woman in America want to deal with them. Because they goofy, cornballs, awkward dudes. How you talk about the women, they put their hands on you, they this and that, but then you in Thailand and the woman putting her hands on you and all this other stuff. And this is his words, not mine. This is what he's saying she's doing. She's looking at him all. She could just tell. She's just, man, if I didn't need to get this money, that's and again, I ain't mad at her. I'm talking about him. I'm talking about the mindset with these dudes. And dudes get up here, these women don't be doing, and they ain't trying to this and that, and they ain't trying to. Let me tell you something. Y'all see the way I look. I'm a ruggedly good-looking dude. I'm a handsome motherfucker. But I'm gonna tell you, I don't fit the stereotypical good looking, right? But I'm still a handsome motherfucker. I don't give a what nobody tell me. I'm a bad motherfucker. But all this stuff that they talking about, American women don't do snap. I have been all over this country and I have yet to experience that. And I have had the most cooperation from black women. Like I don't get what they talking about. Maybe, but they would chop it up to me being tall, me being 6'4", and all this other stuff. Like that just magically makes everything else easy. You 6'4", but I would tell you, I've never the stuff that they're talking about. I have never, ever had that issue. And the thing about it is that there are so many different arrangements in life that women are fine with if you tell them the truth. If you tell them the truth, and then you got to consistently walk in that truth and let it be that. But a lot of these dudes, they don't have no type of courage or anything to themselves. That's why you gotta go that far off and do mess like that, because it's like the old thing where they say, like, when they would talk about women being in a town and everybody knows who they were messing with. and then they go somewhere else and it's completely different. And it's the same thing with these dudes. It's like they not gonna come over here because the American women know what's going on, but then even the women over there know what's going on. And they not trying to do nothing other than have sex. And it's like you can't get a woman over here to do because you're not even being honest. And with the way you talk about these situations and going over there with them women, you're not even honest with them. So how the hell even and I'm not even getting into all the other you need to do this. I'm just saying, just straight, just like initial reactions in dealing with these women, just being honest with them, no matter how it may be. There's so many people, and as y'all know, like the whole poly thing with me and my people and the ladies and whatever the case may be. And there's a bunch of them that I have sat down and I've talked to in like first time going out with them or whatever. And it's like I'll talk to them and I'm catching that they're not getting that I'm telling you that yo, I'm poly, I got this and that going on. You're gonna be dealing with all of us. Like, and I'm listening to them and I'm just sitting there like, mhm, mhm, mhm. Is she talking, but she not. So I just stop it. I'm like, listen, do you understand that I'm poly and I don't come by myself? Like you guys, it's other people coming, it's other ladies or whatever coming with me with this. This ain't a thing where it's just me. And then it's like, oh, oh. Then I let them soak it in a little bit, talk to them a little bit, let them soak it in. Like you do understand that, right? Like this ain't. I'm not about to hide it and jump around and well, maybe because I can get her and this maybe if I change it, I'm gonna tell you and I'm gonna do my best to sort this out. Now I'm not talking about you being nervous, but that's where you work through. That's where the courage comes in because you got to work through the goofy shit, and that's what a lot of them dudes don't do. They get in a situation, talk to these women, then it's these women ain't shit. I might as well just go buy me some ass from somewhere else, and I'm not doing it in America, like because you tell them one or two things about you, and then it's they don't like this and that. No, I'm gonna tell you everything about me, and if you don't like it, you can keep it moving. If you don't like what's going on with me, you can keep it moving. If you don't like what the situation that I'm in, we can keep it moving. We don't have to keep doing it. Like I got my shit, you got yours. We can go on by our way. But all this, and then when she won't hand you your phone, they got the flip. Like, nah. If you ain't gonna hand me my phone without acting a fucking fool with me, you can keep it moving. And I need to figure out what's going on in me that you just feel the need to act the fool with me for handing. And this is what they've said. So I'm like, yo, but I ain't gonna keep too much on that. It's just have some courage about yourself. Be honest with these women. Stop trying to sneak shit around and everything. I'm not saying you just gotta use that for some of y'all. I'm not saying you gotta tell them everything. I usually will just tell people straight up and be like, this is what it is, and then get to it. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I just get it right and I just got no. But out the gate, tell them women what's up. Let them know what's up and then just keep it moving. Ain't no need to be foul. Ain't no need to be mad. Ain't no need to be inboxing, talking crazy to the woman. Just keep it moving. That's it. Just keep it moving. Just let it be. There's been plenty of women that be like, you know what? I ain't this and that. There's women like with the whole poly thing. There's women that are back in the day when I was rolling before we settled in with my ladies before years ago. Like I would talk to them and then they would do stuff like try to friend um my wife. They would add her on Facebook like as if that was something that was going to stop me or stop us. Because if I'm talking to you, it's a good chance. It's not even a good chance. She knows that I'm talking to you. I've probably mentioned it to my ladies before I came to you. Like, yo, this one is such and such. Like, oh, you should reach out to her. And then they try to. So it's like you're not doing nothing. So that comes with the honesty though. Like I don't look at it like, oh, you added my lady. I need to stop talking to you. Oh my God. Yeah, show her the messages. Take pictures. Take video of it. She'll jump on the video with you. They'll jump on the video with you. You're not doing nothing. So what? So what? But that comes with being honest. Dudes, you got to be honest and know what you about. This whole let me go 5,000 miles away and then diss these women because I'm an awkward weirdo. Out of here. But yeah. So I'm moving to what I was going to talk about. And this is something that I've talked about before, and I've been on. I've mentioned before about Black heroes and Black characters, and this time it's interesting that there's three things that three. there's three things. Matt, that's five. Three things. Matt, that's four. Three things. There's three things that really made it hit home recently. Because I've always talked about this. And I seen two of my Facebook people talk about it. And it was my man BD. He talked about how he wouldn't consider, I was trying to look for the post, but it didn't show up right on my screen. So I was like, I'm just going to talk about it. And I could be paraphrasing. Well, not could be. I am going to be paraphrasing basically. And he talked about how he doesn't consider certain characters from Marvel and stuff like that Black comics. And he talked about Black Panther isn't a Black comic and stuff like that. And I agreed with that. Then my man Jason Reeves, hopefully I pronounced his last name right. It's early and I'll be saying wild shit. He talked about how he said something to the effect that I'm gonna need y'all to distinguish the difference between Black comics and comics with Black characters. And I stand behind that. Because there's this thing where Black folks get these Black characters and we just take them. We just take them. Black Panther is not a Black comic. It's a Black character. White dudes created it. And that's fine. I'm not going to take away from it, but that's not it doesn't have the soul or the heart behind it. It doesn't have any of those lived experiences that a Black person has. And I think that's part of the reason why, no disrespect to nobody, but I think that's part of the reason why they've always focused on characters in Africa, like Storm, Black Panther, or some Negro from the future. I think that's why they always focused on them, because the American ones, you had to deal with certain aspects of American culture that they didn't deal with well, or they made it goofy. And it was like even when they made the Punisher Black and Luke Cage was with him, it's like made Lois Black. It's like, okay, all right, this is what y'all doing. And if they don't have those lived experiences and stuff, they just not Black comics. They Black characters that a white dude came up with. And the thing about it is, like, people are like, well, I like, and even with Spawn, it's like Spawn is just this raggedy, jacked up Black dude that you don't really see his face, and it's whatever, right? And so even with him, I was like, oh, okay, but I put Spawn in that same category as what people were complaining about with movies like Soul and other stuff, where it's like it's a Black person and then you don't really see him. And so, and it's not like he had any kind of lived experience. It wasn't like he was jumping around having wonder what was dinging over here. And it's not like he had any kind of lived experiences like with Black folks and stuff. And I think that's something that really needs to take place, to where the creators, the writers, editors, artists, all that type of stuff, like what Jason was saying, needs to be what Black comics are. I'm not saying nobody can't make a character Black. Ain't nobody saying that. I'm not saying, man, I wanted to make my character Black. That's whatever. But to have that soul and that energy and that lived experience behind it is important, because every other, like, you got Captain America living he talking about the whole Brooklyn thing, and you know what he was doing with his little buddies in Brooklyn and all sorts of, man. You know what I'm saying? Magneto has the whole Jewish Holocaust thing and everything behind it. But when it came to the black characters, it was just kind of like, yeah, this nigga went to jail, and like what the American was, it was like, yeah, he was in jail, and Luke Cage was in jail, then he got powers, and yay. Falcon was just kind of. That's why even now with Falcon, I'm like, he Captain America, yay! But you can't do nothing about it because it's a character that's not owned by black people. That it didn't come from where a black person come from. And then the people, and then the funny thing is, like, the people with the black experiences, they always have them off to the side. Like, they always have them off to the side. Like, there was like the Isaiah Bradley guy, and he's just kind of, and then there's Killmonger and other people. They have the black experience, and they either like old, messed up, radical, or they just kind of like there, but they're never the main one. They're never the main one. The main one is always the black dude that straddles that line of being a coon. Like even with Luke Cage, like I watched the show and I had issues. Like I liked both of the main villains on Luke Cage. What was it, Cottonmouth and Bushmaster? Like I like them. Luke Cage, I had too much of an issue with him where it's just kind of like, man, I don't like my power. Isn't that? I don't want to be here. Maybe I should be here. Give my I don't know, though. But then I'm not the. And it's like he's in like he's black enough to make him fit the skin, but outside of that, it's like he's no different than everybody else. And I don't. You can make in the Marvel stuff recently, like even with Spawn, you could take the Luke Cage that was on the show and put him in Spawn's place. Take Spawn from the movie and anything else for the most part, put him in Captain America's place. And I'm talking about their blackness, not their powers, their blackness, right? Put him as Falcon and put Falcon as Luke Cage, and then like just change them out, and it wouldn't be too much anything. As far as their blackness and their black experiences, it wouldn't change nothing. Now, different temperaments, but that's with every character. You know what I'm saying? Different temperaments, but then it wouldn't change nothing. That's just to me. It wouldn't change nothing. It ain't like now if you put for instance, you put who if you put I would say my character Andre from The Extraordinary Messiah, you put him in the place of Captain America, it wouldn't be the same. You put him in the place of Luke Cage, it wouldn't be the same. You put him in the place of Spawn, it wouldn't be the same. Like it just wouldn't be. Even with even some of the black characters, the only one that I gave a pass to was Static. Icon, I'm like, what? And it's like, you created by black folks, but then we get into this, well, I could throw anybody there. I give a pass to Static because he was a young boy coming up in some of this stuff, and they always try to have him like represent, you know what I'm saying? But the other ones, it's like, yo, man, like y'all just these little shots in the blackness. No, we can't keep doing that. And then this, well, I don't mind if anybody make it, and we can't. And I'm gonna get to why we can't. Why we can't just letting this little. I'm a black person, and I'm just living. I'm gonna get to why we can't. And it's like I don't mind as long as the stories are good and this and that, and who make them, they did fine. That's your problem. That's our problem, is that we just go ahead and take mess and then be like, it's fine, you know, it's good. And throughout history, it's always been like that. Black folks get white folks come up with something, or dominant society, or somebody come up with something, they give it to us, and we go, this good, this good. Or if they give it a little blackface, then we're like, oh man, this is amazing. We good stuff from the NAACP to after Reconstruction to now, and it keeps happening. And the reason why, for me, and the third thing, because I said it was three, the third thing on why I said it really hit hard with me is because of the whole thing with Ron DeSantis. And I know this is, some may not get it, and some may, that don't make sense, but it all connected my brain, and you here listening to me talk, so you gonna get what I got. Is that Ron DeSantis down in Florida, they blocked, I believe it was AP Black History classes. So you block the Black History classes. You don't block anything with European history. And you say because it promotes confusion or whatever the case may be. So you're just going to erase Black history, especially I'm guaranteeing it's going to be Black American history too, especially that. Like, you can go learn about that other stuff and all that other stuff in Africa and stuff. You can learn, but this Black American stuff, no, we're not going to do that. We can't have that. This is part of the reason why I don't trust schools, and why I'm not impressed by degrees, and I'm not impressed by all this mess, because they're full of shit. So to bring that back around to comics is, and what I'm saying is, like, Black folks take too much and then just, you know what, that's fine. That's fine. If a white person creates these Black characters and they tell us our stories, I'm good. I love the Black, and they'll jump out the window for Marvel and do all this other mess. And while these same people will take and ruin your real life stories and tell you they didn't exist, and are fine with telling you wasn't nothing but a slave, but we fine with giving up our stories and letting Black, and so there ain't no difference. The white folks can come up with Black characters, so at the same time they come up with Black characters, feed them to you, and then take the history that you and your ancestors and people have lived and say, we're not teaching that, but we'll give you these Black characters that we came up with. Look at him, look at that guy in that Panther suit. He fly across the air. Look at him, and then kill him off when they want to too. Get y'all mad, and it's like, no, this is why you have to control you have to control your characters, because they're not Black comic books. You have to control them, and this is why promoting other Black creators and artists that work on stuff is important. Why buying the books from these other creators is important, and sharing them and stuff. I ain't saying nobody else can't make. I'm not saying you can't make nothing. I'm not saying nobody else not white. I'm not saying you can't make nothing, because Black people make characters that are other races too. That's fine. But what for me, it got to start being Black owned. You got to start owning this mess and holding on to it, not just outright giving it away, and then they kill them off and they got you doing crazy mess, or they shelve them and then just slowly drip them across the way. So if it ain't got like Black creators behind it, owning it and having major say in what's going on, they ain't a Black comic. It ain't. Black Panther ain't a Black comic. Storm ain't a Black comic. Bishop ain't a Black comic. He's a Black character in a world full of other wild motherfuckers. That's what he is, but it ain't no Black comics. And I don't give a fuck how y'all feel about it. You ain't gotta like it. You can complain about it and make your goofy posts, and that's fine. But until Black folks understand why it's important to control and why it has to come from Black culture, it's gonna keep having the same stuff happening. And with that mess down in Florida, I can't understand a nigga talking about some, I don't see why they can't. And I don't see why it has to be about race, and it has to be about it. This country is built on race. And they're telling you that, your history and what you talking about with that move down in Florida, what all that stuff, we ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. So yes, Black creators need to. It needs to be Black creators behind these comics, and that's artists, writers, editors, all of that, controlling the direction of these comics, getting them to Black people. Because if you not, we're gonna keep having the same stuff happen over and over. Motherfuckers can get mad as they want. And if you're listening to it, you can be mad as you want. But man, why you making you gotta put these cons on if it was a white con, isn't that? I wouldn't be mad at all. I'd laugh and make jokes about it, but I wouldn't be mad. I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm gonna tell you something. Like, for me personally, this is just me. This is just me. When it comes to stuff with like Jewish people and how they handle their stuff, and people be like, that's messed up and this and that. No, it's not. I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. I study and look at how Jewish people handle their business and how they handle relations with other people. And for me personally, how I operate, I'm gonna fuck what nobody else do. You know, fuck what y'all get on here talking about. That's wrong. And if you don't, you need this. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck what you talking about. I really don't. That's just the easiest way for me to explain it. Y'all already know I'm not the man as well. You know that the etymology. Get the fuck out of here. But however, I study and I've read books about like Jewish history and stuff like that, and I look at how they deal with situations, and I personally agree. So my thing is, yo, I'll send you over here to this person. We can work together. We can do all this other stuff, but I'm not going to let you step on my culture and who who I am and what I am and what I've been through. I'm not with that. I learn from the Jewish people. I don't be like, oh, they just and they've been through. Black people have been through. So y'all need to treat it the same way and start owning and controlling what your ideas and intellectual property. Like that's one of the biggest things that I think we don't, like, a lot of us don't get. And then with the what, I'm fine with it. You be fine with it over there then. Be fine with that goofy shit over there. While they telling you we not gonna teach you history. Be fine with that too. Because it's not just a Florida thing. And people are talking about stuff like I know I'm bouncing all over the place, but it's how my mind work, I guess. And I know people are talking about like they don't want they want them to be afraid to say what they. I like that DeSantis and folks are out there putting it out there. I like when they do it because it lets Black folks know, hey, you better get your mess together. And it seems like Black folks have had the most success when we've had to have that type of situation over us, which is sad, but it is what it is. To where you have to know that folks are actively plotting against you, and you need to do what you got to do to control the board with your group. You don't have to like it. You can play it and, well, this is one people. Yeah, whatever. Keep believing that lie. Keep believing that if you want to. You keep believing that. But the world keeps showing you opposite. Again, and I'm gonna be clear, I'm not telling you to not have friends and not hang out with people and not live with people, not make money with people, not marry nobody, I ain't talking about none of that. I'm not saying that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just make sure that you know what it is. And that it's important for you as a Black person to own and control the board where you're at, and then connect with other people that are owning and controlling the board on which they are. The problem with comics is a bunch of y'all live in a whole fantasy world, and y'all fine with saying a bunch of goofy mess, thinking it's going to change something. So no, all these characters are Black characters. They're not Black comics. They are not Black comic books. They are not part of anything that deals with Blackness. That like Black Panther has nothing to do with Blackness at all. Now, some Black people have made some money from it, and that's fine. That's fine. But the overall story, at the end of the day, is controlled by everybody else. It's controlled by it's controlled by the dominant society. And if they don't want it to go a certain way, it's not gonna go that way. And then we're gonna be sitting here looking like, man, that's sad. Or it was going, man, that's messed up. And why they do it that way? Or we're gonna reason it away and think it makes sense when it don't. And that was my issue with like the Black Panther movie. I made that post about whatever, and then it was like, well, they gave up all the black boys for the black girls and this and that. And I think a lot of that was goofy. Um, you made that post. And I thought, and the reason why is because it's 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 not about, for me, it wasn't about the movie. It's about who controls it and why it's that way. Like I don't look at all the little bitty people doing them actors and stuff. Who had the final say in it? Because at the end of the day, they could have had the final say and be like, nah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Just like how black folks will put another black person to the side, be like, come here. Let me talk to you. What is you doing? Like, don't do this, and that this gonna get you. This gonna get you messed up. It's gonna get you caught up. Don't do that. Don't put this in the story. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna. If black people control it, if it were black comics, not black characters in this world doing goofy mess, and that's fine. And like I said, even with the ones that are controlled, like for instance, going back again, even, and I've talked about this before, one of my earlier videos, even with stuff with like Blue Marvel fits into that category of black heroes like Icon and the rest of them, to where they don't, they black, and the thing about this, made by black characters, but I mean, but by black creators, but they blackness is just kind of like we just all here, and we don't have the luxury of playing the "we all here" game. We just don't. We just don't. And that's one of the things I learned from Avis Wilson a lot. It's like, you don't have the luxury to sit here and play that. And from John Henry Clark, he's like, y'all got to be selfish on what we create with black people and make sure that it represents our culture well, especially, like I said, especially black Americans, because that whole Florida DeSantis thing, I'm guaranteeing a lot of it's going to be like American history. Like they'll focus on like the far off Africa, stuff like that and everything, but American history, no, not with these niggers. We ain't gonna have, because this is bothering. Why should my kids have to learn about what happened and what white folks was doing and what Jerry Jones and them was doing and stuff? Why do my kids have to learn about that? They're not gonna learn about that. We didn't do none of that stuff. That stuff was long ago. It didn't happen. 1940s, you're gonna learn about that Jewish history though. And so it's like, what? Oh, okay, all right. But we fine. And you can go into any group. You can go to the post that Jason made, the post that BD made. You can go to any of these groups. It's gonna be a bunch of black folks. I don't know why it gotta cut the race, and I don't know why we always gotta do this and that. And why can't we just be everybody this? Why everybody else is representing theirs correctly. Everybody else is like, nah, you ain't gonna let Jewish people be out here looking wild. Asian people like, nah. China be like, nope. This person said this on Twitter 84 years ago, talking about us. Get them out of here. I'm not saying it's necessarily right. I'm not saying this, but it's right for their culture. And they're like, nah, you better put some prominent Asians in there, and they ain't about to be looking like no dang on clowns, or they ain't getting played out here. And I ain't mad at it. Jewish people, they were like, nah, you ain't gonna put that out because that make us look bad. I ain't mad at it. Even when them other cultures come up with it, you gonna put it out somewhere else. And nah, black folks, look, why don't you just give it a chance? Why don't you just let them do it? Why y'all talking about that? Y'all just don't like anything? Y'all just always mad. I can't call it, but for me and mine, it's gonna be black. It's gonna be black, and it's gonna be black comics, black this and that. Again, everybody else you can join in and stuff too. I'm not saying nobody can't come, can't take part of. I will always hire, work with, be friends with, kick it with folks, everything, all that. I'm not saying that. But when it comes to representing who you are and taking your place in the world, you better make sure that you still doing for yours, and that black characters, black comics are getting the representation that they need. And that representation ain't gonna come from nobody else. And that's one of the big problems too. We keep playing this game where we want everybody else to represent us. Man, if Marvel do this and this and that's gonna make me feel so good, and it's gonna be great. Then when they do terrible shit with them, it's like, man, they got Captain America beat the shit out of Black Panther. I can't believe it. He a black character. that came from the mind of white folks, and you think they're gonna put them up over any of these other folks? And even if it for a few seconds or something, yeah, but then they're gonna dust them out and go put them somewhere in a back corner, or they're gonna have them being fine with killing off their own people. Wakandans. That's why ain't no Wakanda forever for me. Ain't no Wakanda. I ain't Wakandan. And yeah, but Wakanda forever. Get out of here. Like Marvel got them consistently killing off their own people, comics and everything. But when they step outside dealing with everybody else, especially if they white or something like that, you better not. Them Wakandans better not kill nobody. And then if a Wakandan go kill out, them Wakandans get mad. Like, you killed them white folks in that other country. Read the comic. You killed them white. Ooh. We gonna kill this nigga. He killed them white folks. He representing Wakanda bad. Like, but what you think gonna happen? What you think gonna happen? Am I saying they gotta go out? Like, even when I talked about Icon, do you think I'm saying that they gotta go out and go kill everybody? What? No, that's dumb. That's stupid. Because all white folks ain't racist. All white folks ain't a part of ain't white supremacists and all this stuff. We're not saying that. But what you stand on, just like Jewish people, what you stand on is, hey, you're not gonna do this to me and my people, and I'm not gonna just stand around here and let that happen. Like folks can say whatever they want about Magneto, about him being he's a villain. I don't give a fuck. The dude at the end of the day, Magneto was like, look, I seen this happen to my people. Me being Jewish, I seen this happen to my people, and I went through it. Now that I'm older and these powers done kicked in, and I see it happening to this group as well that I'm a part of, no, I'm not standing around letting it happen again. And that's why I'm like, yo, I always identified with that with Magneto. But there's not black characters like that. Marvel and everything, there's no black characters like that. Like, yo, I see, well, I won't say there's none, but they're few and far between. There's no black characters like, yo, I seen what happened to black folks across since the early 1900s, and everything in the 1800s and late mid 1800s and stuff. I've seen what happened to black people. We're not letting this happen again. This is what's going on. There's none like that. There's none that go through this. Again, I shouldn't say none, but I don't know them like that. Let's put it like that. I ain't seeing them like that. But they go through a wave, because Magneto go from hero, anti-hero, bad guy, terrible person. He just played up. And then even with his most recent stuff, I'm like, that's my guy. That's my guy. with him dying and everything, I'm like, that's my man. That's my man. Let's go ahead and get that iron, take that metal, and get your heart going until you get all these people out the way. That's my guy. But there's like that. No. I wasn't talking about necessarily I wasn't talking about necessarily a black version of Magneto. I'm just saying there's not a lot of black characters that have that sort of I'm gonna just say courageousness to him when it comes to what happened. What I said was, and I'll repeat, I ain't doing it too much, but it's just that Magneto is that Magneto seen what was happening. He went through the Holocaust and stuff when he was young, got his powers, said, I ain't never letting this happen again. And then humans are messing with the mutants, and he like, yo, y'all doing the same thing that you did to Jewish people. There's not a lot of black, even in the X-Men stuff, it's not like a lot of black mutants. It's like, yeah, you know what? I'm on your side, or I feel the same way that this happened to our people. This happened to black people. I'm not letting it happen again. And that's part of the blackness is missing with a lot of these characters. And again, you can call it whatever you want to. I don't give a fuck. Type and do all that away. But what they doing down in Florida is like, yo, we're going to erase any of y'all history. And again, I think it's going to be mainly a lot of black history in America. And then so we're playing the game where it's like, we ain't got to talk about that. Everything got to be black. We can just make original black characters from with your experience and put them out there. But I don't care what you do. For me, like I think about it. Like I don't care what you do. But for me, some of my characters, they're not going to be heavy on it. Again, Void Beast isn't heavy on it. Isn't heavy on the black stuff. Souls of Chaos. It'll have some of that in there, but not a lot. But the Extraordinary Messiah in the setting that he's in, that Andre is in, yes, he's going to deal with those situations. And it's just going to be black as hell. And it needs to be that way. Y'all can listen to these goofy motherfuckers online as much as you want to, and they tell you don't need to be black and all this and that, while they erasing your history at the same time. Then you're gonna wonder why stuff keep happening and why and the reason why I talk about this is because I got black daughters and I got black kids, nieces and nephews, and they gonna grow up in a world where you got motherfuckers like DeSantis and everybody else telling you that, hey man, we ain't gonna teach this black stuff. And then when the same mess keep happening to black folks, we're gonna get 20, 30 years from now, we're gonna get black folks. I don't understand why they treat us like this and this and this. Because y'all are so willing to give away your culture and then say it's fine for everybody else to do it. And you so fine with, and the whole time they erasing the real culture. So in the fake comic world, black folks need to control. In the real world, black folks need to be controlling too. All around. If it ain't about black folks controlling and empowering themselves, I'm not going to argue with you. So that's all I got. Last thing I'm going to talk about is, some of y'all creators, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to tell y'all something. Some of y'all motherfuckers make me sick. And I mean exactly what I said. And the reason why is because y'all got all this talent. Y'all put all this stuff together. And then you listening to some goofball on the internet tell you what you shouldn't be doing. These motherfuckers don't read. They stock cans at Walmart because they didn't choose to do nothing better. And they have no ambition about themselves. They don't even have cars. And you listening to some of these people? Please stop. Please stop. I look at some of y'all, and y'all can draw, y'all can create, y'all can do all this stuff. And then somebody tell you something, and you like, I think I'm gonna give it up. Fuck them. I swear, when it comes to this creative stuff, and I look at a lot of y'all, my superpower is fuck them. I don't give a fuck what they talking about. Anything you say ain't gonna stop me. And if you really feel that much for me, if you feel that much conviction about what I'm saying, we can fight. Like straight up. It's like, no, y'all, some of y'all too talented to be letting these motherfuckers tell y'all some goofy shit about how stuff gonna go and what they doing. Like, don't we listen to these people? These folks, you promoting yourself too much. Why you always sharing your stuff? You shouldn't be doing. Fuck them. Promote it more. What they telling you not to do, dive more into it. If it's gonna be better for you, yours, and your family and everybody, and for the world in general, you better dive your ass into it and stop listening to these folks. Give a fuck what they talking about. Some random goofball on the internet. Like I put out I was testing on my emails, and I put out an email that and I made it kind of snarky, right? Like it was like, thanks for the support or lack thereof. And so it was just kind of like, I appreciate you being on my email list, you share. And if you've seen it, you see if you're on my list, you've seen it. And if you didn't, you didn't. It's just whatever, right? But the subject line was thanks for the support or lack thereof. And I just went into a whole little spiel about it. And it was like, you can buy my books, all this other stuff, right? The first message I got was from this woman, and she was like, ugh, thanks for the, but I think this is kind of basically I'm mad and I'm literally shaking. And why did you send this? Because I had the worst year of my life. I can't see. I was blind. I was legally blind, and life was so bad. And you just sent this, and you didn't help the situation. Right? This is the first email I get. The first email, and like haven't heard this person forever. Don't know this person or anything. This is the first response I get, right? So I'm sitting here like a few seconds after I sent out the email, and I'm like, man, maybe I should. But it was funny, and I was testing it, right? Next thing you know, I just started getting orders. Coming in. People buying a whole set of books and everything. And I'm just like, Now, if I would have let this one person just be like, you know what? Oh man, I shouldn't have sent that email. Ah! So if I would have done that and be like, you know what, I'm gonna just take it down and delete them. None of y'all, I'll never fuck them. Like that's like, and for me, Matt, you shouldn't say that, but that's how it calms me. So I don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about. That's how it calms me. Because if I be like, well, you know, maybe I should fuck you. Because you gonna come at me and talk crazy and stuff. I'm joking with you. It's like you gonna turn this into something that it wasn't out the gate. Fuck you. That's what I get. And for the people that support, I love y'all. Thank y'all. For the people that support it, show love, join my, and then people join my page, and I support. Thank you and everything. But there's always gonna be that one person. Tell yourself a quick fuck them and keep it moving, because it wasn't for them in the first place. Stop letting this goofy shit that these people say break you down and tear you down with talents that you have. I don't have none of the talent that y'all got. Like I'm not no super writer, and I'm not no super artist and all this other stuff and everything. I'm like, I just keep going. I'm like, these motherfuckers, I'd have been through worse. And I keep saying this, I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again. Don't let these people do this to y'all, man. Don't be sitting there to, man, I think I'm gonna stop because they don't. Fuck them. They don't even know what the fuck they want most of the time. If they did, they'd be further in life. The fuck you listen to these people for something you putting the time in and you putting the work in and you willing to keep going and you letting them tell you that, man, you promoting too much, or man, this don't look right, this wasn't right, or man, that wasn't written. I don't give a fuck about what you told me. You think McDonald's, all these documentaries, all this mess that been put out about McDonald's and everything, they not like, man, we gotta stop serving and just disappear, and just fast food's terrible. We just need, maybe we should just stop, and just maybe it'll, McDonald's is like, fuck them. Keep eating that human meat then. I'm not saying that's what it is. That's what people say. That's what people say. And McDonald's like, yo, just keep going. Just keep it. There's all this, well, they wrong and that. This is just a motherfucker talking crazy. Even me. Like, I'm just a person talking. Everything. I'm not going to get into all that. But again, y'all creators, man, don't let these people do this to y'all, man. Don't let these people do this to y'all. Y'all got this stuff swirling around in your head, your heart, your spirit, and then you let some weirdo that you ain't never met in person, and even if you met him in person, you let some weird motherfucker that's not doing what you do, don't hear what you hear, don't see what you see, and can't even create the vision that you got. You let them tell you something to where you be like, you know what? Maybe I should stop. Fuck them. Jesus. Y'all better stop that. Y'all be frustrating me. I see it. I'm like, yeah, man, my writing and nobody don't want to, nobody like me. Fuck them. Get your stuff together. There's so many apps and everything, and that's what I'm working on, some stuff like that. I'm working on some books and stuff about that. So many apps and everything, and ways for you to get this stuff to people, and you sitting here talking about what you can't do. The fuck out of here. Y'all amazing at what y'all do. Y'all are writers, artists, composers, editors. Y'all amazing at what y'all do. And some goofballs tell y'all that you ain't, man, get that shit out of here. I don't listen to none of that shit. I just roll right through it. I get emails and wild shit all the time. I've talked about it before. I get emails and wild shit all the time. Well, you just think that you just, and I hope you don't give a fuck. Yo, I even get to your book ain't shit. This stuff don't make no sense. I don't care. Like I'll listen to him like, maybe I should change up some stuff. But it ain't gonna stop me. Like, you ain't never seen me be like, you know what? Y'all don't like it, and they don't notice who I am, and they ain't talking to me, and they don't want to see me, and they nobody's supporting me, and the big guys act like I don't exist. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna make everything I got to make happen, and I'll do it on my own. Because guess what? if you keep going and you keep putting the energy into your own product and you keep putting it out there and you keep making different ways to get it to people while also helping other people along the way, guess what? All them motherfuckers that act like they don't know you or they act like they don't see you or anything, they gonna have to see you because they ain't gonna have a choice to after a while. So let them keep talking about everybody else. Let them keep not talking to you. Guess what? You're not trying to sell to them. You're trying to sell to the people that rock with what you got. That's what you're trying to do. Oh, God. That was just on my mind, too. I better stop it. Got too much talent out here and then talking about what you're going to stop. I'm looking at y'all put these videos up, music, the books, and all kind of stuff, and then y'all talking about stopping because some goofy motherfucker online. Fuck them. I ain't got no other way to say it. But this is my morning rantings. I need to get a set date for when I'm gonna start doing these videos. It's just that I'll be running around and making money and doing other stuff. So it's whatever. But as always, go to akachicomics.com because I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Go sign up to come to SableCon. Some of y'all creators, I need y'all out there. I want to see some of y'all out there. And if you don't, again, that's fine too. It's gonna keep rolling. And guess what? Sooner or later, you're going to pop up. You can not like, you can not do, but sooner or later, you going to pop up. And it is what it is. But I want to see my creators and everybody get out there and stuff to the con in May in Raleigh, in Knightdale, North Carolina. So go to akachicomics.com, get the books, sign up for the my man, appreciate it. Sign up for the con and everything. Get out there and just support. Even if it's not me, support other folks. Share it. Do whatever. Just support and help these black folks because we need black folks creating black stories to get to the world. It's not just the black people. Our stories ain't just for black. And that's another thing. More than ever, black folks create black stories with black culture and give that side of blackness and get it out there to the world. Because again, they talking about cutting history down there in Florida for AP Black history classes and stuff. It's even more so important for you to make these stories focused on black culture, especially black American culture. I'm not saying you ain't got it whatever with Africa, but I'm guaranteeing a lot of it is going to be focused on with them erasing stuff because right here in America, they don't want their kids. That's that CRT. That's what that mess is about. I said I ain't gonna be saying that mess, but I'm definitely not gonna be going too far into that. I just But that's what all that mess is about because they don't want to be teaching folks, hey, this is what happened and it bothered my kids, but they didn't do nothing. Okay, but folks are still profiting off of it. So you need to be creating these black stories to give a fuck what nobody talking about, even other buck dancing black folks. I got it under my SableCon post. They like, there's a black agenda and this and that, but it's not an agenda with folks trying to take away black history. Y'all better get out there and create y'all stuff and quit worrying about what the fuck they got to talk about. Go sign up for SableCon. Vendors get out there, artists get out there, come out there and support the con and stuff. I know it's you always got other stuff to go to, but it ain't what we doing. So get out there, support, and I'll holler at y'all later. Go to akachicomics.com. Peace.